Dr. Lawrence, thank you very much.
Hi. Hi, Patrick.
The average salary, from what I can gather, of a GP is around £112,000 per year.
Yeah.
Nobody really works your average 9 to... Very few people really work your average 9 to 5 now. Why should GPs be any different?
Yeah, I think the GP should read the room. I think now is not the time to be saying we're going to be working less. Look, the BMA is a trade union. It's nothing more than that. And this is a negotiating tactic that's not been agreed by NHS England. They're going to go to NHS England and say, can we move our contract, instead of working 8 a.m. to 6:30, 5 days a week, can we change it to 9 to 5? But now is not the time to do that. The GPs will say that during October, they did 32 million consultations, and that's a lot. And some of them are working very hard. But as you pointed out, very few doctors are full-timers anyway. Most of them work 3 or 4 days a week. They have plenty of time for family life.
Yes.
The doctors who, if the contract is 8 a.m. to 6:30,
right,
that doesn't have to be one doctor working throughout that entire
Can I
shift.
just say, can I ask, if, as indeed it is being reported widely, that one of the major reasons why they want to work a steady, stable 9 to 5 is because they think the current arrangement discriminates against women who have families. We need to go on a male GP recruiting drive, don't we then?
Well, this was, look, I don't want to go down this route because, as you say, there is sexism, but this is always the risk. More than half of GPs now are women, and wrongly, I agree with you, that the burden of family life falls on the female GPs. I don't see why men shouldn't share that. But most GPs are not full-timers. And actually, look, I'm going to be working tomorrow, Saturday, whereas GPs don't have to. They don't have to work Saturdays and Sundays. They have the weekend for family life. And as you say, they're well paid compared with the nurses, compared with junior doctors in hospital.
Oh, exactly.
I've got a colleague who's
just
a
on
junior
this, sorry,
doctor.
because I've covered the nurses' strike quite extensively, as you'll be well aware, and it's often quite difficult to get nurses on, and quite often end up getting a GP on, and a lot of those GPs go, I side with the nurses. Yes, isn't it absolutely terrible? But then you've got to look at this and you go, well, GPs didn't want to be named and shamed when it comes to the amount of face-to-face appointments that they did. Shock horror, when the government said that they were going to start naming and shaming, then the number of face-to-face appointments went up. Now they only want to do a 9 to 5. They probably want a pay rise as well, for goodness sake. One of the reasons why they don't do overtime, and now this is where I do have some sympathy for them, is because then a lot of the time they'll go into a higher tax bracket if they work overtime, and so they'll get absolutely rinsed, so it's no financial incentive. But I can't help but wonder, I'm looking at this now, Dr. Lawrence, and I think there is a psychological problem with a lot of GPs in this country. They are going into it for the money and for a cushy life and not to make people better. Is that unfair?
I think that's perfectly fair. I think we've become a profession who moan a lot. I've been saying about the doctors recently, stop moaning. If you don't like it, you should change things. We can't rely on the government to change the model. Look, let me go back to that figure of 32 million consultations in October. That's half the population of this country saw a doctor in October. Now, to me, no one's looked at the demand. Some of the demand is appropriate, some of it is inappropriate, and some of it is, frankly, abuse of the system.